Hi, everyone. Russ from the West Ham Network. Hope you are all safe and well. If you're new, maybe give it a like, give it a comment, give it a share. Give one of those bloody good subscribes. It's we are this close from 20,000 subscribers. But what I thought I'd do is give you a bit of a lunchtime update news show type thing. Just a few quick stories, a bit like sort of the news headlines. Just what we do the Hammers headlines in the morning show. I thought I'd do it in the afternoon for lunchtime as well. Three stories that I just wanted to throw under your nose because I think that they could be interesting. We'll see how they develop. I think this week's going to be quite a busy week for West Ham, both off and on the pitch, if you're led to believe in terms of appointments and comings and goings. One potential sort of rumor that happened over the weekend, and Anton sort of did a little show about it, was Bowen to Spurs, which, as I said, would be in a very, very fraught fraught Christmas dinner around the Dyer household, that's for sure. Now, apparently, not as a result, but subsequently, West Ham's Jarrod Bowen is in line for a bumper new £35 million 6-year deal with a significant pay rise. I think if there's one player who probably deserves it, it's Jarrod, in all honesty. Scoring the winner, to see our first major trophy since 43 years and our first European trophy since the mid 60s. And we're all singing the song. And he's obviously plenty to celebrate both off and on the pitch, having just become a father as well to twins. So it's been a hell of a couple of weeks for Jarrod, that's for sure. Now, the Daily Mail recently claimed that Bowen can expect to double his wages, which are currently at about £60 a week, bargain, 60 grand a week at West Ham, with 2 years remaining on his current deal. In the same way, sort of, he's in a similar contract situation, really, to a bit like Souček and a bit like Declan Rice. Technically, Declan Rice has still got 2 years left in his contract, so has Souček, and so has Bowen. And we spoke about Souček's contract issues, and they're very much poles apart in terms of what he wants and what the club wants to offer him. Now, I think it's fair to say, behind Declan Rice, I think Bowen has been our most important player this season. When he's on form and when he's firing all cylinders, so does the side. A bit like Antonio, really. And, his goals, his assists particularly, and his outplay in terms of breaking away on that right-hand side is vital. He has struggled. The first half of the season, he struggled. As I said, he played himself off the plane to Qatar, in all honesty, and admitted it was, the result putting too much pressure on himself to impress Gareth Southgate. But he was one of West Ham's best players after the turn of the year, and ended up the season with 13 goals and 9 assists in 54 games. So what's that? 22 goal involvements in 54 games, almost 1 in 2. And obviously that included, the most important goal of his career and of modern West Hamness, in terms of that unforgettable night in Prague a few weeks ago. And as I said, he's in line for his bumper deal. According to Sean Wheaton, he reiterated the claims in the Daily Mail, revealing West Ham are offering him a 6-year deal until 2030 on double his salary, which is 60 grand. That equates to just under £500,000 a month, or if you can do it for some, and almost 35 million quid over the course of the contract. If anyone deserves a new deal, it's him. If you look at everyone who's, I think, Thomas Souček, if he's trying to get his negotiations, he's not going to get what he wants, I don't think. So it might be a case of even flipping him as well, rather than making a situation where we sort of come out the summer and he's still next year and he's got 1 year left in his contract and he can sign for a foreign-based club, go back to Slavia Prague or whatever. But I think with Bowen, he's vital we keep him, and vital he stays in East London rather than go to North London. I can't see him going outside London, really, not just for him, but for his wife and the family and the twins and stuff like that. So look, if he it's 60 grand now, 120 grand a week, that's that's not even, I think it's at the top. It's not the top, it's one of the top. I think isn't Ings on 150 or something like that, which is mental. So keep an eye on that, and hopefully we can get that over the line. That'd be that is to me almost as good as a new signing sometimes, because it guarantees the investment. Doesn't guarantee him not leaving, but it guarantees the investment in terms of what he can bring in terms of anything coming in potentially for the next 6 years, realistically. And obviously that was what I'm trying to do with Declan Rice, to maintain his value for the 200 grand a week contract we offered him 18 months ago. And obviously he turned that down and cost himself 10 million quid, really. Another player where, it's like the Okie Kokie. He's in, he's out, he's in, he's out. He'll shake it all about. Gianluca Scamacca. Conflicting reports, as always, when it comes to West Ham and news. So apparently West Ham have demanded 35 million euros, 30 million quid. That's a price tag if you want Gianluca Scamacca. And outright in the face of any attempts from Roma to secure a loan deal. It's no loan deal. It's you want him, you got to pay 30 million quid. And that's according to Corriere dello Sport. Now, we know that Thiago Pinto, the Roma Sporting director, according to Fabrizio Romano, he's been in England for the last fortnight or so with various clubs over potential targets. Obviously, we're looking at a couple of their right backs, particularly as well, and people like Roger Ibanez and stuff like that. And there has been a push from Pinto to replace Tammy Abrahams, who's basically done his ACL in. And Scamacca is on the agenda. Now, Sky Italia reported that the Hammers weren't interested in the loan deal, but Scamacca's agents were working on the club to try and change their stance. However, that apparently is not happening. It looks like it's going to be a major offer needs to be made in terms of money to sell him. Now, the one article that Corriere dello Sport reported on actually went beyond that and said actually Roma are looking at other alternatives now, with Alvaro Morata, the former Chelsea striker, as being their target now. However, then another report from Calcio Mercato has indicated that AC Milan are willing to make the first move for him in terms of that. Now, it could be that he gets it's a second chance saloon for Scamacca this season. We've spoken, there was an interview I think Kevin Nolan did on TalkSport saying the lad is quality, and the lad is, on the pitch, Premier League ready, but off the pitch, he had a lot of, he's 23, he's leaving on his own, he's in a different country, and it's taking him time to adjust, not necessarily with the football, but with the sort of the lifestyle of living abroad, basically. Now, if the club and the manager are not ready to give up on him, that's brilliant, because I think we know there's a quality player there. And to me, that's a real statement of intent. They could have just let him go on loan, taken the hit. They've done it before. Felipe Anderson, they did it with, got 3 million quid, although they might get some money back from the Saudi if he goes to Saudi Arabia. Haller, we took half price of what we paid, basically. And it's down to him, really. He may well prefer a move back to Italy. That's what we've heard. We've heard that he didn't really want to stay if Moyes was staying. But we'll see, that could well change. With an arm around him, things make a terrible difference. Can make a massive difference. Whether AC Milan or any Italian club is going to be spending 30 million quid, unless they're absolutely certain that he's the missing piece of the puzzle for them, particularly coming back from a major injury as well. So unless West Ham's position changes, possibly in the wake of banking a big fee for Declan Rice, maybe it might loosen our purse strings a little bit in terms of letting him go for maybe slightly less. Scamacca might be set for a second chance and to be the leading man at London Stadium. And I, for one, would love to see him be at West Ham, because it's happened too often where players have not worked and they go away and are brilliant. And sometimes they go away and are shit. But, but look at someone like Haller before his illness, but then even now after his illness, he's still been started to bang him in again already. But obviously Ajax and Borussia Dortmund. Felipe Anderson went back to Lazio and has had a great couple of years there, and said so much so that Saudi Arabia League are looking at him, and we could get some little bunts off that because we've got 50% sell-on fee on his contract when we sold him to Lazio back. So, and I think it was on Sunday, Anton put out the video of the keep, sell, buy, that type of thing. And I was like, and I was a bit hot-headed with a few of them, but sometimes you just need to move on. But with Scamacca, we've got a player there. We've got a player there who is a starter. We've got a player there who could be a superstar in the future. I don't see that. No disrespect to someone like Flynn. I don't see Flynn coming in and being like a world beater. So I'd rather he would go and play first team football and have a good career like that. Or even Maxwell Cornet. I don't see Cornet as being a world beater, but this guy I do. And this guy I would like is the exception to the rule for me. You know, make it work. Make it work with Scamacca, because I think you would have a hell of a player on your hands. And with a full preseason behind him, being able to integrate himself within the team properly, I think he'd be an absolute star. And actually, thinking about it, just at the top of my head, by potentially selling Declan Rice, so Paqueta then moves back to that 8 spot. He played very well at Sassuolo as a 10. He would swap with a 10 and a 9. So if you got a good 9 in, who's up there, he's set clever up there, him and him interchanging, I like that. And speaking of 9s, this guy could be the answer. Apparently, West Ham, and we've spoken about before, Viktor Corrales from Southampton, from Coventry City. Now, apparently, according to Portuguese news outlet Record, it took about ages for it to come with that name, West Ham have entered the negotiation table alongside Sporting Lisbon in a bid to sign the Coventry City striker. He last season 21 goals, 49 championship games. The Swedish forward is attracting interest from a host of Premier League clubs, us, Wolves, Palace, Fulham, and also Sporting Lisbon as well. Now, according to the article in the Record, West Ham entered the negotiation table on Sunday. Do you just imagine that's just walking through there's a big table, you just walk in, and they're going to try and tempt him to join them. The report states that his goal scoring streak in the last 2 seasons of the Championship has attracted the attention of Sporting plus several Premier League clubs. West Ham is part of the lot, and yesterday the Hammers have entered the negotiation table with Coventry. It's going to be a battle to get him, that's for sure, with so many other teams after him. But I think if you're looking at someone as a replacement for Antonio, this guy is it. As I said, last season, 21 goals, 12 assists, 17 goals and 5 assists the previous season. And he's one of the country's hottest goal-scoring commodities, in all honesty. And his contract with Coventry comes at the end of next season, I believe. He's got 1 more year. So they may well be tempted to cash in this year. It's a risk. They could keep him, and he might fire the goals to take him up, which they were sort of very close to doing this year. But the flip side is he could go in the summer, or he could even sign for Sporting Lisbon in January on a pre-contract, couldn't he? Because they're outside the country. I think the pool of European football as well would be interesting for Viktor, and maybe as a striker and 10 option of Viktor and Gianluca, them two interchanging. I think you'd see him. He does a lot of what Antonio does, lots of runs. He's strong. He does those sort of pointless channel runs. And I think that would be really fucking good. Really fucking good. And then Paqueta, and then maybe instead of Suchik, Onana, and could you imagine? Harvey Barnes on the left, Jared Bowen on the right. What a team that would be. And I think that Viktor is now something like Hammers Headlines. I'm going to put up, I'll collate all the names and I'll put up at Hammers Headlines. There's something like 70 odd players we've been linked to already, which is crazy. But we're going to be linked to a hell of a lot more, especially if certain midfielder and captain leaves for Arsenal or Man City. Well, people know we'll have a bit of money in the bank and you'll see a lot more players linked, that's for sure. But anyway, guys, we'll be back for Hammers Headlines a little bit later on, a couple of hours' time. Make sure you keep an eye on the channel. If you're new, down there, just check where it says subscribe. If it's red, do us a favour and click it, and then it goes to grey, and then you're subscribed. That'd be really nice. Thank you. I think we're literally like 100 or so away, or 150 away from 20,000 subscribers, which would be crazy. So anyway, take care, stay safe, stay warm, stay humble, keep the faith, my friends. Come on, you bloody irons.